So what happened was, so the miners were rescued. The last one came out last night. Jordan's mom wrote us an email saying Jordan is fascinated. We let him stay up all night, watching this.
Wow.
And he wants to talk about it tomorrow. And he's also, he's always looking for rocks and minerals. And okay, but that's Jordan's thing, and it's never been anybody else's.
Okay.
So we came in with a newspaper. Susan brought in a newspaper, and the front page has the last miner coming out. So he stood with the newspaper, and he went into great detail explaining to all the kids about the mine. He knew 69 days that they were in there. He talked about the, we know it's a capsule, but he didn't use the word capsule. Machine or something, whatever he used. I wrote it down. A machine going down and getting them. He talked, the whole thing, the class, even Duran stopped reading the book that he was reading to, kind of look up and, okay, I'll give you the time of day, And they were interested. Then we broke them out in a free play, and I said to Susan, well, no, sorry, go back. Then I brought them 3 at a time to the computer because they didn't have a visual sense of what that might look like. Like, what are we talking about here? A hole in the ground? What is a mine? What does that look like? So I took them to New York Times, and the New York Times has a 6-slide, like a visual, an interactive kind of a thing.
Right.
And I walked them through it. And I said, you see all these little lines? Those are the mine tunnels. And then the slideshow will show you where the miners were trapped, and then the capsule, and how the capsule goes down. And we talked about it, and we talked about, somebody said, well, how do they breathe down there? And I said, that's a great question. So then Duran said, well, maybe there were roots from the trees down there, and they had oxygen from the roots of the trees.
That's interesting.
Amazing. So then, each group of 3 came by, and then they would go off and play free play. So we already have a structure of blocks that was the teva, because we just finished learning about Noach, and they no longer wanted it to be a teva. They started making it a mine, and they start bringing in medicine because we talked about the medics, right? And we talked about so they start bringing in medicine, and they start running into the teva section, and they grab all of those diamonds, those fake diamonds, and they throw them in there. Why? Because the mine has diamonds in the bottom. They're, as Liba called it, jewelry. They're looking for jewelry. So then
they're shopping,
right? Okay, boom, throwing medals, keys. Okay, you need to see what a pile. And then I said to Susan, I said, we should have on top of the loft a pulley. So I went around kind of saying, well, could I get a pulley? And then, no. And so then she has this what's it called? Lanyard?
Lanyard.
Lanyard. And it comes on on those
spools.
Spools, thank you. And so I said, well, this will make perfect. For now, we'll just deal with it. So I just gave 2 out. 1, 2. And then...
and then...
Pow! The whole room was covered in it.
Whoa.
I'm going to rescue you. I'm going to... They take a baby, save my baby. The baby's stuck in the tunnel. Then this is a pipe for water, because we talked about how in the beginning there was a little bit of a hole, but it wasn't big enough for a person to crawl through. It was just enough to put air down there, and it was enough to put food and water. Here's the water pipe. Here's the food pipe. Here's the blah, blah, blah. Then Jordan started, this is the ship that can go underneath the water to mine. And then what did Caleb invent or put together? He put together a periscope. Periscope. Okay. Right? And with the thing, and then Dov is standing there on the phone. I'm trapped! But not talking to anybody. I'm trapped! And anyway, I've got 4.5 pages, 5 pages of just their quotes. But my favorite is Kinneret that says, we said Kinneret in Hebrew. I asked her, "Lama ishtamesh be-sagol vebe-katom?" We had 2 different kinds of strings.
So why was she using these particular colors?
She goes, because sometimes you just want a choice. Like if you're stuck in the thing for 69 days and the right color doesn't come down, I'm going to say no. I'm going to wait until blue. You know what I mean? And it was so funny, and they don't want anybody to destroy their things. It's all built in there, and then the second class came in, and we're like, what? What happened to our teva? And so we had to have Jordan come in and give his whole spiel again about miners and what happened, and now they want to build on top of what the other kids want to build. So I'm telling you, we could have walked out of the room.